What's up, everybody, and welcome back to ChallengeXpress. Choo choo. And yes, you are joined by us, the Valentines. I am Tom, joined by my co-host Nicole. What's up, Nicole?
Not too much. Happy 4th of July.
4th of July, Independence Day.
I kind of forgot, but that's today.
Yeah, no, me too. Until I saw. Oh, there's a bug on my screen. Until I saw Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Social media. Social media will remind you of anything.
It's like, I'm not doing anything today. It's just like any other day. Oh, the only difference about today is now I have to worry about the dog getting really stressed out with the fireworks. So like,
yeah, there you go.
Like, I'm definitely not leaving the house today because I'm gonna have to like huddle him and just hold him all day long.
It's okay. It's okay.
But whatever.
Who cries more on 4th of July, your dog or Josh on the challenge?
Ooh, even TJ called him out.
Yo, that was hilarious. TJ never burned somebody so bad unless you quit.
I know, but like, I know he didn't mean it in a mean way because he was like smiling. And even after he said, he was like, no, he's a good competitor. So you could tell like he kind of felt bad, but that was kind of messed up.
Yeah. You got all your tabs closed? Is everything looking good on your end?
Everything is looking just excellent on my end. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, man, anytime. What was I going to say? So yeah, let's get into it. Please like the video, comment on the video, comment what you think about what we're saying, comment if you hate us, just comment, all right?
Like, I want to know if you hate us, because...
Yeah, and I appreciate the comments we got on last episode. Had a little back and forth, all love.
No, I like that. I've never been the type of person who wants everybody to agree with me. Like, I like a little disagreeing, because that's how you learn, and... Yeah. It's great. So
and it really does open your eyes up to different perspectives.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
all the comments were great, and everybody was really cool about it. So
yeah. So appreciate everybody. Maybe the best previously on scene we've ever had. I don't know if it was just me, but I was dying of laughter.
What? Because of the bowl? It was like the bowling thing. Oh, no.
No, previously on when Kyle was like, last week I got my red skull, and then Bananas comes up behind him and he's like, stupid tattoos don't count, Kyle.
Yeah.
It looked like Johnny Bananas was Kyle's like prison bitch. They both had their shirts off, looking in a mirror.
That's what I love about most of the guys in the challenge house. Like they're just so close, and like I feel like they're so goofy together, and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, you got TYB, you got Bananas, Kyle. Rogan seems to be good friends with like the Bananas in the houses and whatnot. But yeah, so I mean, let's go into our predicament of if the final starts now, you still got the same people, I'm assuming. Jenny and I'm so torn between Bananas and Fessy.
I'm still Jenny and Fessy, and I think it was this challenge where they both came out on top.
Yeah.
They both won, and I remember I was just like, "Yep." I just think that they're mentally. Bananas is pretty good mental too. Like he doesn't really get.
He's been under pressure so much that it's not even pressure anymore.
Yeah. I'm still going Jenny, Fessy. Those are my two.
Yeah, it's hard to go against Fessy when we see him in these daily challenges, just with so much endurance, finishing first, dominating the competition. The only thing that can get in Fessy's way is inexperience. Never seen a final. And yeah, a lot of these people haven't seen finals that are still left in the house. Kyle did get into a final, so he knows what a final looks like. But Josh and Fessy may be the only ones. But
if you look at who's everybody with red skulls, well, everybody has a red skull right now. It's a lot of rookies and or just like kind of newbies, couple year newbies.
So on the female side, who hasn't seen a final there? Because that's, I feel like, a way more.
Dee's seen a final.
Yeah.
Benny hasn't. Melissa hasn't, Casey hasn't, and Bailey hasn't.
Technicality, Melissa technically has seen a final, just hasn't participated in one. Do you remember?
Did she quit?
No, remember on Vendettas where they brought in like Melissa and Bananas to deal out cards?
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so D in that sense has the upper hand of seeing a final.
Yeah, but we don't have the upper hand of seeing D. So
they actually did. Speaking of, last episode was probably their best editing of no clips of her. Really, there was one. Like they did a really good job.
This one you're talking about?
This episode, yeah. But and then with the guys, starting off with people who have never seen a final, Fessy, Corey, he saw.
Corey's seen two finals.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say at least one. Kyle, Rogan's seen one, and
Nelson has seen one at least on Invasion of the Champs, coming up short behind CT.
All right, so the only guy who hasn't is Fessy, even though I have.
And Josh, but he's gone now.
Yeah. So yeah, all right. I mean, let's get into it.
Yeah. So unbeknownst to us, it seems like the guy's plan is to get Aneesa thrown into elimination. You know, with all the Red Skull talk, it was hard for us to see past. Like, once everybody has a Red Skull, what's the game plan? And it seems like on the guy's side, the game plan is to get rid of Aneesa because they don't want to be potentially paired up with her in the final, which we have seen in a lot of finals where you're at least paired up with the opposite sex for a certain amount of time.
Yeah. This was hard to watch. I love Aneesa. I think she's an awesome person. I think she has heart. You know, her biggest downfall is she's not in the best shape. And she knows it. Like, so I think
she knows it. But the game she has to play is, you know, I do deserve a final. I'm good at puzzles. I like the point she was bringing up, especially in the interrogation. She's like, I can swim better than probably most of these competitors still out here. She can do puzzles, but it's like, you being able to do puzzles, math, and swimming doesn't balance out with how bad you will be at endurance, unfortunately.
It usually is a lot of endurance. So, no, I know. I almost just, God, she wanted to make it so bad. So
yeah, I wanted to see her make it to the final. I didn't care about who she was paired up with. I just, as an Aneesa fan, I wanted to see her make it to the final.
And I love another scene from Nelson. Like, so last episode we had Nelson talking to Bailey when she was down. And then this episode, when he approached Aneesa about it, it was so well done. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do it that, like, no, and coming from Nelson, who's been so immature in the past, it was so nice to see him just really approach Aneesa like, hey, listen, I know we've had our differences, but I'm coming to you as a friend, and they want you out. And he didn't even, like, lie. He basically was like, I understand, and I kind of agree with them, but you're my friend, so I want to give you the heads up. And the way that he handled that was perfect.
Yeah, he must have picked up a few things from Dr. Phil. He must have, like, hung out with Dr. Phil after that episode or something, because he's sounding like a mini Dr. Phil.
Yeah, he put it so well, and he made it so that way, like, he wasn't offending Aneesa. He really was. But at the same time, he wasn't like, I had nothing to do with it. Like, he wasn't lying. He was saying, like, I kind of get where they're coming from. Just wanted to give you a heads up. You know?
Yeah.
So that was cool to see.
Yeah, this episode had Bye Bye Aneesa written all over it. We get a cute scene with Aneesa and her mom. Her mom's very sweet, very funny, asking all the questions that she knows Aneesa can't answer.
Yeah, that was funny. And then, yeah, this was the Aneesa episode. I said it right in the beginning. You can kind of tell right away whose episode it is, which made me immediately say, all right, she's going into elimination, and it could go one way or the other, but it was definitely like something with Aneesa is going to happen by the end of this episode.
Yeah, and we weren't getting much from Bailey. Like, we got little bits and pieces here and there. So it's like, are you just going to eliminate Bailey after not really doing her justice on her final episode? So yeah, I was leaning towards Aneesa going home the whole episode.
How about in the beginning, before we get, because we get to the challenge pretty quick in this episode, but before that, you have Josh just talking about how bad he wants a red skull. And I'm like, you've had the chance. You've been in the tribunal. You could have gone in. Like,
It's every episode for him.
It's like, I want it so bad. It's like, okay. Like, how bad do you really want it? Because you've had the chance and you haven't taken it. So,
yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, and before the daily challenge, maybe my favorite scene of the whole episode was Corey and Fessy playing pool. Fessy opening up about his upbringings, him coming up short in the NFL, and then his obstacles that he had to face.
I'm sorry, are you talking about the staged conversation that they had?
Yeah, you think? They're like, Fessy, open up, please.
That was the most staged conversation. The producer probably said, all right, now ask him about the NFL. So what about the NFL? Fessy. And then Fessy goes, well, I almost made it to the NFL. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, did they give you...
All right. Maybe you're right. But it was still it felt very fresh seeing Fessy open up about his Middle Eastern Muslim background growing up. And especially after 9/11, which doesn't even I didn't even think about.
Of course, because you definitely don't think about it. No, that felt genuine. It was just the beginning of the conversation that was like, oh, you guys planned that. But I loved seeing him open up about that. I never even thought about what his nationality was or how it would affect him as a person. So it was kind of nice for that to be brought up. It's funny. They must have had so much footage of Fessy because now they're just dumping it out.
I know we got the same conversation, which we'll get to 7 times this episode, and it's like, what would we see of D if everything didn't happen? Because clearly they had to fill in some holes.
But it is cool to it's making you like Fessy a little bit more. I do think he's a little boring, but he seems like a really nice guy. And
his game isn't boring, I'll tell you that much.
No, I like how he even admits, he's like, I'm treating this as a competition and I'm kind of forgetting to think about the political side of things. So
yeah, and I think that will be his downfall. Maybe not this season, but in a future season if he gets invited back.
Yeah, so I don't know, it was cool to see a little bit more of him. And I believe he sounds like a Nelson quote, but I believe it was a Fessy quote. Put all my marbles in one basket.
Yeah. I didn't even catch that. That was a Nelly moment for me because I didn't even catch that. But yeah, I think Fessy did say that.
I was like, do you mean eggs?
I was like, no, that makes sense. Marbles in a basket. Yeah, I got marbles in a basket over there.
I loved it. But yeah, it's cool to see more clips of him.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, yeah, I think Fessy's confidence and his overconfidence and cockiness, it's a good thing, but he's letting it shine through a little too much, in my opinion, for the other competitors to see, and I don't think the other competitors will like that too much.
Yeah, he could play a little bit more of oh, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm a rookie. I feel like I'm out of my element, and he can kind of play on that a little bit more, not so blatant, but just tone the, I don't know if he should tone the confidence down a little bit or not. I mean,
I just think he needs to know what's important and what's not. Winning this daily challenge probably wasn't so important for him. He was safe. The 2 guys who didn't have a red skull were going in. He had to lie to 2 people basically to win.
And that's where his political game is poor. Was that the right decision? Probably not.
No.
But I don't know. I kept going back and forth whether that was the right decision. I mean, let's get into the challenge.
So it's 1 a.m. in the bunker. Rogan's on the treadmill. Bailey's getting something to eat for some reason.
Do you think they're lying and it wasn't 1 a.m.?
Because it didn't, it's are they going to sleep at 3 a.m. every night? I don't understand.
Who's on the treadmill at 1 a.m. and who's eating dinner at 1? Like, maybe I'm old, but
Yeah, I mean, I could understand the treadmill. I guess like running before you go to sleep, perhaps. I don't know, but yeah, eating that late too doesn't make sense. We saw people in bed. Maybe it was a little earlier because Josh was like, "We're all getting ready for bed."
yeah, I was gonna say somebody said we're getting ready for bed, but I mean, maybe if you're in a party house, you are going to bed at 1 a.m. every night.
Right. Yeah, and you don't really. If you're in a bunker, you're trapped in a bunker. You
You don't
know.
have work in the morning, like.
Right. Yeah. No sun to wake you up.
Ugh.
So
Anyway.
yeah, but yeah, that was funny seeing that. We get one of those every once in a while in a challenge where they just wake you up in the middle of the night or your, daily challenge out of nowhere. So it was cool. Bailey's like, "Why are the lights going off?" She just did not understand. She was like, "Oh, this must be a fluke. Like, turn the lights off."
I love Melissa's reaction. She's so cute. And I love how like she doesn't complain about things. She's like really kind of witty about everything. She's like, I need to put my eyelashes on. I'm like, oh my gosh. And she has her
Yeah,
curl.
there's a rumor going around that Kyle and Melissa have been hooking up this whole episode, but I don't know if it's true.
I have actually Sean mentioned that a couple times. He actually for like this whole season, he keeps saying they're hooking up, and I'm like, no, why do you think that? Like they're just really good friends, and she just had a baby with somebody else, and Kyle has a girlfriend. You know what I mean? And he, no matter what I say, he's like, nah, they've been hooking up. So
Yeah, I don't know. I need to do some digging to
I
find
think they're
out.
just friends, but whatever.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah, I
just
thought so too, but then I saw these rumors and I'm like, got me thinking.
they're just friends, just like Jenny and Bananas, cleaning each other's bellies with oven mitts and
Yeah, they're those type of friends, which I appreciate.
yeah, me too.
So the daily challenge is an individual challenge called Running Out of Time.
Very nice.
So yeah, they got to run long ways away to a pile of rubbish. They could only bring one piece of rubbish back, and then you have to put it in somebody's barrel. It's a screw your enemy type of challenge. So whoever gets the most weight is most likely going to lose in stage 2, which is you have to hold your barrel up. Whoever holds it up the longest wins.
Now, would you agree that this is, and it is a double elimination, one man, one woman going home. Would you agree that this season, more than any other season that I've seen at least, they have done very similar challenges and eliminations within the same season? This is the third that's like this season. They did the one where they fill the dumpsters.
Yeah.
And then they did the one, I just had it. They did another one like
So
this.
was it the first episode where they had those stages where they just...
They weren't filling something.
I don't know.
They had something similar.
But I do know where you're coming from, because even when they had the junk challenge, I was like, am I watching the first episode all over again with the stage 1 and the stage 2, and they're pulling things through grass or carrying things through grass?
Yeah, and then the elimination with the rope, we had that earlier this season with the with CT and J.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, different, obviously a little different, but same concept in a sense.
Yeah. So I was kind of, this episode, by the end of it, I'm like, all right, we've seen both this challenge and this elimination just in a slightly different form, but whatever. I mean, I don't care that much. It's just something I noticed.
Yeah, I definitely have noticed that as well. But and it probably made this challenge lose some of its oomph. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't care too much during this challenge. Honestly, all the entertaining aspects came from when the guys were up there making deals left and right.
Yeah, that was the most entertaining part. Again, when Aneesa was really far behind and she had her little confessional about, feeling a little bit left out. Oh.
Yeah, it was, I hate to use the word pathetic with Aneesa, but she was like, this is a safety mission for me. It's like, safety mission?
No, I love Aneesa. I want to see her come back, but I need her, if she comes back, she's gotta work on her endurance.
Yeah.
And I think she needs to go out. I think she needs to come back, have her endurance, better, and get to a final and then stop. That's it. I love her. I don't want her to give up, but
I want her to go out on a high note, and it's like getting worse and worse, it seems like.
hey, she was close, but yeah, I know what you mean. But
Yeah, it's so weird with the Red Skull twist. Like, who would have went home day one or early in the game if there wasn't this Red Skull twist?
yeah, no, I know. With the guys and the deals though, with the bananas, it was like he just made the same deal to two people.
Yeah, he did. He did. And for some reason in my mind, I'm like, I forgot about the girls. So I'm like, okay, yeah, so Fessy and Corey will be last. They'll be the tribunal and bring in Josh. Makes sense. I'm like, oh yeah, Jenny wins.
Yeah.
So she's the tribunal with Fessy. So Fessy made, yeah, a deal with two people. Same deal. And there was only one spot open, like Banana said.
Yeah.
And yeah, Fessy was saying whatever he had to say to win. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to say whatever you have to say to win this daily challenge. This daily challenge really doesn't mean that much.
So I think this is where his like only thinking about competition and wanting to win, where he didn't realize like those little subtleties of, do you necessarily need to win this one? But I think it's hard for him to not win. Like that's all he's thinking about. So and I don't even know why they went through all of those deals anyway. Why didn't they just ride it out? Like whoever wins wins. Like don't make a deal.
Yeah, I mean, when you got your alliance buddy right next to you, Fessy and Corey, I guess it's like, why fight to the death if we're both fighting for the same reason?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It was weird. What would you have done in Fessy's position? What do you think was the right answer?
Fessy's position? I probably would have made it. It looked like Corey had less in his barrel, so Corey would have held it for longer. So maybe I would have tried to be like, yo, Corey, let me get this. I'll bring you in. But I wouldn't have said that if I told Josh I'd bring him in right before.
No, so I'm saying like prior to any deals being made, would you even make a deal, or would you say, or would you just drop and let one of them do it? Like what would you do?
I would try to win. And I would just be like, yo, Josh, you're going to get voted in, you know, like, believe me or not, I'm going to outlast you here anyway. So you'll have to believe me. I'll vote you in.
So as Fessy, you would try to win just to secure your safety.
Yeah. And I'd probably let Corey win after Josh drops because he had less in his barrel.
Yeah. I don't think that Fessy was too crazy to want to win and want his safety because just like with Jenny, Fessy and Jenny are the two people that, like, if you're going to throw somebody in to try to get rid of them, it's going to be one of those two people. So
I'm thinking of like a parody skit where all the guys are up there and Fessy one by one is just like, yo, I got you, drop.
Yeah.
Yo, I got you, drop. Yo, I got you.
The worst part is that Corey agreed to the deal right after he heard him make the deal with Josh. Like, I would have been like, nah, man, you just made a deal with Josh. Like,
yeah, true. And you could tell in Corey's face, he felt like something was off. He didn't want to drop, so you probably should have just not dropped.
And I hate when, like, I don't like when people don't take responsibility for shit. So, like, Corey did say, like, I should have won. I basically won that challenge. And it's like, no, you don't know that. Like, you could have gone head to head with Fessy, and even though you had a lighter barrel, you can't just like conclusively say that was my challenge and I would have won it 100%. Like, don't, because he's like, oh, that basically means I've had like 6 challenge wins this season. It's like, no, it doesn't. No, you can't say that.
Yeah, and he's counting being in the tribunal as a win. He's gotten carried to the tribunal. He's gotten picked for the tribunal like twice, I think.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Corey's doing great this season, but yeah. Don't say you had a win stolen from you. You gave a possible win away. Don't say it was stolen from you.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, that's my
so yeah, I mean, during the challenge, the TY boys in the bunker physically and politically were strong together as a unit, got out whoever they needed to get out, which was Kyle, Bananas, and Rogan. And then it was just a challenge between them, which sucks if you're like anybody other but TYB, because you just woke up at 1 a.m. to lose a challenge.
Yeah.
Like, you had no chance.
Who on the girls, like, who really sucked as far as when it came to, well, we had 3 DQs, Nelson, Kyle, and Aneesa.
Yeah.
You didn't even make it to stage 2. You went through all that and you didn't even make it to, like, you didn't even get back in time?
Yeah, so I'm thinking like the rubbish must have been like what, half a mile away. We saw Bananas and Josh get to the pile of rubbish when chug, 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 when TJ blew the horn for the 5-minute warning. So I'd say it was like maybe half a mile, a little more than a half a mile away.
Yeah.
And yeah,
so you think it was like
Kyle was screwed anyway. His barrel was filled up to the brim.
True. Do you think it was like bad timing that they just happened to be at a bad place when he made that call, or do you think they didn't try to make it back?
I think they I don't know. I think they tried too hard. Like maybe they were on their way to the pile of the rubbish. He blew the horn, and they were like, "I'll just get to the pile and then go back."
Yeah. Okay. They tried to push it, and they just okay. All right. Well, that sucks. So
I mean, like I said, Kyle wasn't going to win anyway, and then Aneesa was very slow, and then I don't know what happened with Nelson. Nelson.
He probably was just like, nah, whatever. Like he didn't need to fight for it really. But at the same time, like you should always try to win. So you have Fessy and Jenny now in the tribunal, and Fessy clearly is like, let's vote Corey, even though he just made a deal with Corey and Josh.
Yeah.
And then Jenny wants Kyle or Josh. I understand why Jenny wants to put Kyle or Josh in. However, it doesn't really matter if you put Corey in because, like you said, like no matter what, you're going to let those 2 guys go against each other. But
it does matter because there is a girls' elimination as well.
What do you mean? It matters in the sense of not burning a bridge, or?
I mean, it matters in the sense that you're going to have to vote somebody in with a red skull.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, Jenny, I feel like they should have gone with Corey. I feel like Fessy shouldn't have made the deal with Josh. And he should have just said, Josh, don't worry about it. Like, I'm going to let Corey take this one. He's real nervous. Like, don't worry, you're going to get it no matter what. And then for Jenny, like, what's she doing? She owes Corey, like she literally owes Corey so much, and he keeps doing favors for her. I would be so pissed if I was Corey.
It's a pretty bad look for Jenny. If you're not one of her best friends or in her alliance and you do her a solid, doesn't look like she'll pay you back.
Yeah.
And there may be, Jenny likes to play sweet and tries not to step on anybody's toes, but I kind of do see an underlying agenda for Jenny, and that agenda is the boys' agenda.
Yes, but yeah, it is. She's close with all the guys. But think about, like, I don't know why she didn't play out the scenario. Like, if she voted in Corey and said, hey, Kyle and Josh, don't worry, you guys are both going in. I owe Corey a bunch of favors. I don't think Kyle or Josh would have gotten mad at Jenny. I mean, maybe.
But you know who would have screwed up if it was Jenny, Corey, and Fessy. Corey and Fessy are not voting Aneesa in. So Melissa, one of Jenny's best friends, gets voted in.
Oh, that's why she didn't want Corey in.
Yeah, and I think that's what Bananas explained to her before all of this to make sure she gets Josh into the tribunal.
Oh.
Because, I love Josh, but like Melissa said, he's very easily manipulated, especially by a character the size of Johnny Bananas, Yeah.
Oh, that makes so much more sense. You're right. Mm-hmm. That was also that way she could do the guys the favor of getting Aneesa in because.
Right, and it was purely for the guys because Jenny, if you're thinking for yourself, oh, Aneesa, please get to the final with me.
Yeah, why wasn't Jenny? Jenny even said, she's like, it wouldn't be terrible if I had. So, okay, because Fessy and Corey definitely would not have voted Aneesa.
Well, Fessy didn't, and Corey is like, Aneesa's like number one. They had a relationship in the past. They're really cool.
Damn, you're right. Okay, wow.
So Corey in that tribunal, Aneesa would still be on this season.
Yep, and that wouldn't be terrible for Jenny.
No, it wouldn't. That's why I'm saying, Jenny, you need to worry about your own game. Like, you're going out of your way to help your boys out.
Yeah. Wow. That's okay. So she really is thinking about the guy's game. It's like, you could win. Put Aneesa in. Like, no offense, Aneesa, but like Jenny would crush you in the final. So Jenny, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Jenny's just so confident in her ability to beat any women that she's like, I don't care who gets there.
She also said that. She said it also wouldn't be a terrible thing for me to have some good competition that I could still beat.
Yeah.
She made that comment. So I mean, but still, you gotta play smart, like work smart, not hard. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
She chose her guys' alliance over her own game.
Yeah.
Yep. Corey is too pissed at Fessy, in my opinion.
Well, the reason I think he's so pissed at Fessy is because he saw the writing on the wall. He knew Aneesa was going in now. He wanted to save Aneesa. Maybe that's why he was so mad, or he just feels like embarrassed because you made a deal with him on TV and then you backed off.
But why isn't he pissed at Jenny more?
He is. But I mean, Fessy
did fight for him with Jenny. There's not what more could have Fessy done? Say no matter what, like we're not gonna come to an agreement, then what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you think he could have just stood his ground more and been like, I'm not budging?
Maybe. I don't know. Jenny's a hard bitch, and I use that in the nicest way possible.
I watch RuPaul's Drag Race way too much, and they call everybody like bitches and hoes, and
Nice.
and I like do it too much now. I'm like, no, I can't do that.
Yeah. Bitch is like a negative word, but I use it as a positive word most of the time.
Words. Well.
Yeah, but like even when Corey was like, yo, Jenny, you did me wrong twice now, and Jenny's just like, I mean, I'm sure they edited it out, but Jenny didn't even say anything, just very, stern face.
Yeah, Corey's got to file that away. Now you know where you stand.
Yeah.
All right. So house vote was easy.
Yeah, house vote, Kyle and Bailey nominate themselves. Nobody else is going to be like, no, I want to go in with my red skull.
I liked Bailey this episode. Like, I still don't like Bailey. I just don't. I can't help it. I don't know.
I'm not a fan of her on TV. I'm sure she's a great person.
Yeah, not as a person. I just don't. Yeah. I don't like. And I think it's that like she doesn't understand the challenge, and we talked about it last episode. But I will say she was good this episode. She was like real pumped for the challenge. The house vote, like her attitude was a lot better.
And I liked her in the daily challenge before. She was like, I'm going to try to win, but I'm also going to try to play smart to position myself to get the house vote. Like she didn't want to make any enemies in that challenge, so they would, not let her get her house vote and her chance at elimination.
Yeah, it's almost like she's kind of figuring out the challenge a little bit. It's like, oh, it's a little late, but yeah, it was nice to see her happy.
Yeah, I know, right? She was like glowing. I was like, oh, this is a Bailey happy. Okay, this is new.
But she also kind of like you made yourself look dumb. Like look at all that fuss you made when I know she doesn't know that in hindsight, but like still you could have just played it cool and maybe had another shot. But
yeah, it was all like unnecessary now that we look back at it. Like definitely didn't need to happen.
I'm sure she feels
Casey cold-blooded too. Puts her rubbish in Bailey's bin.
I know.
Casey doesn't give a fuck. She burned that bridge and she's like, let it burn.
But then she voted for Bailey in the house vote.
Yeah, and try to make it like she was doing her a favor, even though she was going to get all the votes.
Have our differences. I still love you, even though I was throwing shit in your bin during the challenge. But you didn't know, like.
Even though I targeted you first in the challenge.
I am starting to like. I mean, actually, I already said this when we were talking about the drama. I do think Casey's like a little sneaky and manipulative, and there's more to it than they were editing. They were definitely making it look like Bailey was the bad guy, and I do think Bailey overreacted, but I do think that she overreacted for a reason. You know what I mean? Like Casey's.
Yeah, and MTV had so much material of Bailey going crazy. I mean, they had to use it.
Yeah, they had to use it, and then like with Bailey's past in Big Brother, I'm sure they wanted to play on her like, oh, she's so crazy. So it's for TV. I get it.
Yeah, it makes for a good rivals pair in the future, Casey and Bailey, or Bailey and Nani, or something like that.
Yeah, I love me a good rival season.
Yeah, what's going on next? So yeah, interrogations. Josh is 100% going in on his side. Aneesa brings up some good points to the people who have never experienced a final. Everybody in that tribunal never experienced a final, so it was possible for her to sway their opinions almost.
I thought she was onto something there, but I think it was.
Hey, she flipped Fessy to vote for Melissa. I don't know if she flipped Fessy, but Fessy was torn.
I feel like, yeah, maybe he already was close with her and would have done that anyway.
Yeah.
I think at the end, at the root of all of this, Bananas is pulling the strings, and it was set in stone.
Yeah.
So even though Bananas has been pretty good at like being under the radar, I'm so shocked people haven't been like throwing him in more, trying to get rid of him. But
we'll see. I mean, we see in the next on, Bananas is like, I'm either winning or going into elimination. So once everybody has a red skull at the end of this episode, you know, it's back to the challenge, good old challenge. Who is getting in, you know?
Yeah, there was a club scene, but it was basically just Fessy and Josh talking about Corey's pissed at me, and then Aneesa and Jenny. Aneesa was trying to convince Jenny, but wasn't happening. There wasn't really anything else that happened there.
Yeah, I think she took the wrong approach of like, I always make it right to the end and never. She tried playing the sympathy card when she had, you know, logical reasons why she should have stayed.
You're like, Jenny, you're a beast. Why wouldn't you want me in the, like, you want to go up against, you know, all of these women instead of me? Like, what? Yeah, she should have played that card.
Yeah.
Jenny was, yeah, okay. I'm like, oh.
I know, yeah. Yeah, so we get to elimination, right?
Yeah, interrogations were pretty easy peasy. There's nothing.
Yeah, we got the same conversation of Corey feeling slighted like 4 times with Fessy. So, I mean, we don't need to talk about every one of those.
I do like the interrogation on Rogan. Like, Rogan has such a good attitude and like sense of humor.
Yeah.
And when they were like, oh, we knew you would take this well, and he's like, well, you were wrong.
Yeah. No, yeah. Rogan is very quickly becoming one of my favorites for the new school.
Yeah, same. So there's nothing else really. But yeah, then we get into the elimination, and right away, you know, you see a rope ring, and I'm like, let's fucking go. But there was 2.
Yeah, with a car in between.
Yeah, I was a little excited to see it. Any rope ring, I'm like, all right, let's go. Even though there's 2.
Yeah. Once I knew rope was involved in the elimination, I knew it was just a different version of elimination that we have seen plenty of times before. Saw it on Invasion of the Champs when CT beat Darrell, if you remember that. We've seen it on Battle of the Exes too. We've seen it on Battle of the Seasons.
With the unspoken Camilla. And
yeah, Camilla and Laurel. Yeah. So we've seen this one. It's a great elimination. I think it, you know, the winner of it really deserves to win. So I'm a fan of this elimination.
Yeah.
And so it's Kyle versus Josh, of course, the 2 guys left without a red skull. Fessy, you know, MTV, you know, got me here again. Fessy votes Melissa. Jenny's next. I'm like, technically, Jenny, if you were smart, you would vote in Melissa, but she's your friend, and so she votes in Aneesa, and then it comes down to Josh or Bananas.
Yeah.
Because definitely Bananas convinced him to vote in Aneesa. Yeah, so that's what Josh does, votes in Aneesa. I love how TJ basically shits on everybody who votes in a legend to elimination.
He basically like was like, well, you can tell from the last 2 episodes that the production has been trying to get Aneesa to the final, the way that they had the random teams last episode, and then this episode as well. Like, I just feel like production really wants Aneesa, and TJ really wants Aneesa in the final. And he basically says, like, you guys are underestimating her. Like, you can tell he's frustrated. Like, he wants her to get to the final.
Yeah.
So I really wanted her to win. I really wanted her to win for a couple of reasons. Bailey doesn't need her ego any bigger. She thinks like that she should get to the final on her first challenge season. Like, girl, that's not how it works. You need to earn it. So I really wanted Aneesa to win, like kind of put her in her place. Like, no, you don't just assume you're gonna win your first try. Like, you gotta do the challenge a couple times.
Yeah, it would have been a great veteran beats rookie moment.
Yeah, and then also seeing Aneesa in a final.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, Aneesa versus Bailey. It was, you know, it was an entertaining to a certain point, especially entertaining finish. You know, Aneesa definitely had a couple more knots she had to untie, but MTV made it look like it was really coming down to the wire.
Yeah.
It was definitely closer than the boys. I mean, Josh basically quit. I don't know if he quit or he just wasn't able to do it.
No, it was with Aneesa and Bailey, I think it was only a couple of like 10 seconds that separated them, because there was an aerial view where you can see them both trying to get the rope out of the circle.
Yeah.
So they were both like neck and neck, and it was a matter of like, I think like
I saw, once the elimination ended, I saw definitely a rope go in and out of a window still on Aneesa's car. So she definitely had to make a couple more moves to finish, to unknot everything. But still, she put up a good fight, you know, for not being in the best shape. She almost beat Bailey.
Yeah, what really got her was her endurance, and I think her size too. I mean, the small, like, think about it. If you're more petite and you're like weaving these knots, now you have somebody who's bigger than you trying to go through those same spaces that you did, and it's just going to be harder. That's it. So
yeah, she did good. Elimination Queen is gone. Then what else?
All right, I have something really important to say. I don't know if anybody else caught this, but there was a confessional after Aneesa lost, and it spoiled the ending of the episode. Because, do you know?
No, but I understand.
So there was a confessional of her talking, and I watched everything with captions, and the captions are going, and there's a caption of something that they didn't actually show her saying. It was an accident. They forgot to cut out a caption. So, and the reason why they cut her out saying it is because she said who wins the guys.
Yeah.
But they like, whoever does their closed captioning didn't edit out that caption.
Yeah.
So Sean and I looked at the screen, we're like, did you just see that? And he's like, oh, they forgot to edit it out. And what she said is, instant karma is a wonderful thing. And she says, in regard to Josh loses, and she's like, yeah, you know, Josh got what he deserved. Instant karma is a beautiful thing. So that's her. So I'm sure in the confessional, like, we know that these confessionals happen after the fact, and they have to pretend like it's during. So I'm sure they're constantly editing like little slips and stuff that people say. And this was a slip of her giving away something, and they edited it out, but they forgot to take the caption out.
Damn, that sucks.
I was like, damn, and sure enough, that's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, Josh was struggling.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was really sad when TJ's like 1 minute left, and then you see Nelson say, Josh, tie something up, make a knot.
He was like, no, I think he even said like, do something. I'm like, oh. Josh.
Yeah, they tried to edit it so like he figured something out. I remember TJ was like 15 seconds left, and Fessy was like, yes, pull that, yeah. Like he was gonna like fix everything by pulling one rope.
Josh's downfall now and probably always, or up until this point, is his emotions. His emotions ruins his political game. His emotions ruins his like chances of winning, and his emotions will get in the way of him ever winning a final unless he gets like
toughens up.
He's a very like not like, you don't have to toughen up, but like,
right.
And it's fine. Like, I'm not against guys being emotional, but when you're in this game, your emotions can be the difference of you winning or losing. So you need to learn how to control those.
You just can't let it affect you. And he clearly gets flustered under pressure. We heard Banana say it.
Yeah.
And that's what happened in this elimination, especially when the spotlight's on him. It's a 1v1. Maybe he'll do decent in daily challenges where, you know, the spotlight's on everybody. You're working in teams most of the time. But eliminations are not Josh's strong suit, to say the least.
No. He was the one who won the tug of war against Jordan, and Jordan has one hand. Like, Josh.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Jordan's a beast, but like, Josh.
Yeah, it made me look at that elimination and just be like, Jordan.
Jordan took advantage. He knew that Josh gets flustered, and he knew that Josh.
And he was even talking shit to Josh. Like, he knew. Like,
he could fluster him, and he knew that he could outsmart him, and that's exactly what he did.
Jordan played him like a fiddle.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites to watch.
Yeah, so Kyle listens to Melissa for strategy, and his workhorse talents really shine through. Like, oh, tell me what to do. I'll do it. Like, I'll do it to the fullest.
Yeah.
And he was maneuvering in and out of that car, and carrying the bulk of the rope was very crucial. We saw the women couldn't do it because they couldn't lift that big bundle of rope, but the guys were able to get the bundle of rope with them through the car. So yeah, Kyle gets a red skull. I'm happy for him. He's really excited. I love Kyle as a challenger.
Yeah, I like him more as a personality on the show than a competitor. I think he's really funny, but let's see what he can do.
Yeah, but I appreciate his competitiveness when he does win, and his heart.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree. I don't know how much heart he got. I don't know. Like he kind of reminds me of like Bear or somebody. Like, I feel like he doesn't take it that seriously. He likes the social part of it more. But
we'll agree to disagree.
Okay.
Does Kyle have heart or not?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think Kyle is a heartless bastard like my sister Nicole?
That's exactly. I don't see, like, there are some competitors that I'm like, they want to win. Like, they will do anything to win. And I don't feel that way with Kyle. I feel like Kyle's like, I'll make a lot of jokes and I'm really funny and I'm friends with everybody. And, oh, look at that. I won an elimination. Like,
you never know with Kyle. And like when the daily challenge was starting and he was in bed, like looking at people, it looked like he was just about to be like, I'm not going. I'm going to go back to sleep. I could see him doing that. So yeah, hope Josh and Aneesa come back. Sure. What do you feel about them?
I like I said about Aneesa, get better at your endurance, and then
it's like a worst case of CT.
Yeah, like when CT started coming back, you could just tell he was like not prepared. I'm like, no, you're a vet and you're this like beast. So I want to see you at your best,
Yeah.
Live up to your reputation, basically. And so yeah, I'd like to see her back. And then Josh is growing on me. I'd like to see him back as well, as much as I make fun of him.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be on the next season. I think he got invited to Big Brother All Stars, which is apparently happening. So he'll probably have the season off. It'll be a good time without him, just to want him back. I know a lot of fans hate Josh. A lot of people don't like Josh.
Well, I mean,
maybe a season off will give them time to appreciate him.
I mean, he's very dislikable. Like, I get it.
That's what I like about him.
Like, it's easy not to like him, but I think like all of the reasons why I didn't like him and most people don't like him are the same reasons why I'm starting to like him.
Yeah, it's weird how that works. Psychology.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you're so annoying. This is kind of entertaining. Like,
I like this.
Yeah.
So everybody has a red skull, and see you guys soon, says TJ.
I love it.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Especially all these like rookies and new people on the challenge who are like, oh yeah, we're definitely going to a final. We all got the red skulls.
Don't get comfortable. Well, we see on the next on, there is at least one more elimination. So we know that more people are going home before the final.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess they would do one more guys elimination and one more females, and then maybe a purge.
Well, we have, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 women and 6 guys. So
okay.
I don't know if they're going to try to even it out, but I would say yes. I would actually,
after hearing that, I would change it to one guy's elimination and then a purge.
Yeah, I think is it a guy's elimination? What was it before this double?
It was supposed to be. Oh shoot, I forget.
It was Swaggy went home, right?
Or did Melissa beat Nani? I think it was supposed to be a guy's elimination, and then the double elimination added a girl's elimination in.
Okay, so then next is a guys, which evens it out, and then you have 5 and 5, which 10 people is too much for a final.
So then they purge at least one person from each sex out, and then you got 8 people going to a final, which I think is fair, especially because of the finals recently having purges within the final. So I'm sure that'll happen.
Yeah, so like if there's an elimination, guys, double elimination, aka purge with like one guy, one girl going out, or you let all 10 go in, and there's 2 stages to the final that knock out like a couple of them.
Yeah, but with TJ not mentioning, this is it and we're going to the final, we got to expect that one more at least elimination. And like you said, it was the guys. So who do you think out of the 6 guys left is in danger? Who do you think is in the best shape?
I think Fessy's, like, if there's another guy's elimination, I think Fessy's in danger of getting voted in.
Mm-hmm.
Because his political
especially if like, yeah, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Okay, so you have 6 guys. You have Corey, Nelson, and Fessy are real close, and then you have Rogan, Bananas, and Kyle are real close. So
it really comes down to who wins the daily challenge.
Yeah, that's going to be important because so let's say if one of those alliances, Fessy would go in out of those 3. But if they are safe, then I think Rogan, Bananas, and Kyle, who do you think would go in? I almost think Kyle.
If it would probably be up to TYB to choose who goes in out of those 3 guys. And I'm thinking, we got a little scene of Corey during the daily challenge saying, I still don't know where me and Bananas stand. So I think that will come to fruition next episode, and Corey might have to choose between a Kyle and a Bananas to vote in. But Rogan's he's going to the final.
Yeah, I think Rogan's sitting pretty. He's good.
Rogan's sitting pretty. I think Nelson, nobody wants to, unless you're on the Banana side and you want out. I mean, I would definitely want Fessy and Nelson to go against each other in elimination.
Yeah.
That's like ideal for their alliance.
Well, that's all we really. Oh, the next time we saw like some weird like bowling challenge or something.
Yeah, I hope. I mean, it seemed like there's a lot of luck
in
that daily challenge, so I hope not.
Yeah, I didn't really love the look of it, but I mean, it looked cool, but I could just, like you said, it looked like a lot of luck.
It looked like it depends where you're standing.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to see, and I forget, it was a recent season, was the last challenge determining who got into the final was a luck challenge. I can't recall, but that is my biggest pet peeve. Do not give me a luck challenge just late in the game and determine who's going to make it to the final. Like, come on.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, that wraps it up. This season should start heating up. It's back to the challenge. Red Skull Twist didn't mean anything. I mean, it did. It definitely influenced the game, obviously. But when it came to getting your Red Skull and having enough time, everybody had enough time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, kind of was like a half twist.
Kind of like, don't need to see it again, or if I'm going to see it again, let's revise how we do it.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, thanks for joining us. Please like the video, comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel. It'd be a lot of help. We'd appreciate it. And thanks for tuning in. You have been tuning in with the Valentines, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.